everybody. Blake Jones, co-founder, co-CEO of Westbrook Whiskey Company and Old Hamer out of Indiana. So we're here today with Stace and Matt. So got connected with these guys through Sealbox. They were some of the first people to buy our bourbon after we launched on their online platform. So we're going to do a live tasting, get to know these guys a little bit, drink a little bourbon on a Monday afternoon. And we're here to talk about Old Hamer 8 years. So Stace, Matt, thanks for joining me. Thanks for taking the time this afternoon to be with me. So have you guys opened the bottle yet?
Not yet. Looking forward to it though.
And I don't know if you guys want to introduce yourselves, tell us a little bit about kind of why you bought it and why are you in love with bourbon?
Well, we started drinking together 2015, 2016. It was the Buffalo Trace, Eagle Rare, Blanton's kind of thing when we started. That was the only things we knew about. And then from there, we just started getting into, some other big distillers like Elijah Craig and Old Forester and stuff like that. And then we live in North Carolina, so it's an ABC controlled state. It's not exactly a lot of options at the ABC store, and there's not a lot of incentives for the GMs of those stores to stock new products. So started looking online. Don't tell anybody in North Carolina ABC Commission. I told you that, by the way. Ordering some bottles online. I found Sealbox. Like I said, I think it was on Instagram. And then, anything they post, I usually give it a look. And you guys popped up and looked good. I was intrigued, so took a stab at it, and here we are.
Awesome. Well, I'm excited to drink with you today. Again, as I said, I've already started. So why don't we pop that bottle and get yourself a pour, and I'll tell the story a little bit why it's maybe sitting there oxidizing a little bit, right? Hanging out. So while they're getting their first pour, guys, this is a mash bill that we really, really like, being from the Midwest and in Indiana. When people think about Indiana, they really think about corn or racing and maybe basketball. And so one of those, well, we like all those things, but one of those three things we kind of adopted as an identity. So our kind of stick at Westbrook Whiskey and Old Hamer is to be very, very corn forward in our product. So one of the brands we own is the Old Hamer brand here, and we're going to taste the Old Hamer 8 year, which is a limited edition, small batch release for us. Story goes, when the Hamer family migrated from New York to southern Indiana, they bought a mill, basically an entire village at Spring Mill State Park now. But instead of taking any cash or banknotes at the time from all the local farmers for milling their grain, specifically a lot of corn, they took excess grain. And so what else do you do with excess corn and grain in the middle of the 1800s? You make bourbon and whiskey out of it. So they were shipping this product as far south as New Orleans, selling it and shipping kind of little port towns down the Mississippi. So this is a 99% corn mash bill. So for me, those folks that like kind of a fruit forward, sweeter, higher proof bourbon, this is going to be for you. So I'm really interested to see. I don't do this a lot where we let folks kind of try on the fly. So I'm really excited to see what they think about this. So, I think they need to walk us through the tasting. So I'm going to let Stace and Matt let me know what they smell. Let me know what they taste whenever they're ready. No rush, guys.
All right.
A little spicy.
Feel free to.
Yeah, I can definitely got that proof spice on the nose, which I love.
Yeah, and I think you guys at Sealbox, you would have paid maybe just under $100 for this, $99.99.
Yeah,
we try to keep everything under $100. I don't even know if we have ever retailed a product above $100. They're typically between $30 and $100, depending on the release.
Right.
And what we got going on.
Yeah, it smells great.
Sweet, kind of a sweet, kind of vanilla, cinnamon spice on maybe a touch of fruit on the nose. What proof? Coming in just above 120.
Damn, that's good.
What do you
think? First pour of the day, very proofy. So I have to go back in.
Yeah,
make my eyes water.
That's why I had a little bit before we started, right? Got to get that palate woken up on a Monday. What is it? 2:00 Eastern time.
Yeah, and I got into this collection behind me last night. So.
Oh, so you beat a couple of them.
So yeah.
How'd you guys start collecting? You just decided you loved it?
Yeah.
One led into two, led into five, led into just.
Yeah.
At one point, we got access to some pretty good bourbon, like where we could collect 5 or 6 bottles, like good bottles at a time, and then it just kind of springboarded from there. And then we did the bourbon trail and got to try a bunch of, go see where it's all made, and that,
That's great.
Yeah. So the collection that you see behind me, minus the Scotch and Irish, we pretty much have identical collections because we, anytime we find a bottle, I'll text him. He'll say, "Yeah, get me one," or whatever it may be. We're usually hunting together, but
yeah.
Now, how'd you two meet?
Collection.
How'd you two meet?
Work.
Yeah.
Oh, work buddies.
Yeah, we sell restaurant equipment.
Okay. Okay, so if I need a fryer, if I need a walk-in, if I need a dish pit, like you guys selling everything, or?
Yes.
Yeah. When that Vanco piece behind you goes out, we can get you something a little bit better.
When that Vanco piece you bought from Webstrong goes out, hit me up.
Yeah.
You know what's shocking? We've actually had pretty good experiences with some of their stuff, and some of the stuff we paid more for, we've had not so great experiences. So, but thankfully, some of them have better warranties than others. So we bought everything from the most expensive to the least expensive, and I feel like it's honestly been all over the board from our experience with everything. So
there's definitely been some of that going on for sure. The economical stuff is almost sometimes holds up just as well as the expensive brand. So
some of our cheaper stuff has 5-year warranties on it.
Yeah.
So I mean,
that's incredible. I might be calling you soon. We're working on some new projects. So
all right. Sounds good.
We'll fly out there and do some consulting.
Yeah, we'll fly out and then we can try your other products too.
There you go. Is the Oldhammer 8 the only one you guys got from Sealbox?
Yeah, I'm always going to go for the most expensive one, and the highest proof. So I went straight for this one.
Okay, because bourbon lore would tell you those are always important factors, right? It's got to be the most expensive and the highest proof, otherwise it's not good, right?
It's become that way.
We all know that's not true after drinking a lot.
Yeah, exactly. I've definitely fallen victim, to the whiskey tubers, always promoting the higher proof stuff, the, older, I feel like it's changed my palate watching too many YouTube and Instagram videos, but yeah.
Now when it drops below 100 proof, it's
like water.
Yeah, it's no fun.
Yeah. All right, now I got to actually taste it this time. The proof shock went away on that second sip, and that's delicious. I mean, that's a great high proof sipper right there.
Yeah, one thing that I really like,
it gets that high proof. You can't even sip on it without adding water or ice. But this is delicious.
That tends to be, I think, how we're going to position this brand more and more in terms of a high proof. And I've got Elijah Craig barrel proof and all the typicals on my back bar as well. And I tend to find, yes, it's my baby, so yes, I love it. I tend to find that if I want 2 or 3 pours of high proof in a night, those are too overpowering to go for that second or third pour, right? Because of the proof. But with this one and that 99% corn mash bill, still plenty of depth because of the proof, but the sweetness, it allows it to be very drinkable. You can have that second or third. Right. So that's kind of what I like about it the most. You get a little bit of fruit, some good depth. Again, hit the palate, maybe middle to front, a little sharp. Some okay caramel and vanilla. Yeah, a little bit of sweetness as it sits.
Yeah, that sweetness definitely balances it perfectly.
Touch of kind of cinnamon spice.
Yes. Yeah, that's it's really good. So, I mean, like, how many? I don't know, how many bottles of this do you get from I guess.
So I'll tell you this, we did only 5 barrels total of this over the last 6 months. So it was a very, very low, very limited release. We only did 5 cases, 5 6-pack cases, the seal box of it. And actually 3 of the 5 barrels we released were, local single barrels. So here in the Indiana market. So very, very, very limited. We're working on some bigger batches of some older stuff, but when it came to the 8-year, again, 5 barrels, maybe 20 cases a barrel, all at cast strength.
Yeah. Well, you guys hit the nail on the head with this one.
Well, I don't know how much 99% corn bourbon you drink. It's pretty rare.
Yeah. So wait, this is 99% corn?
99% corn, 1% malted barley.
Huh. Damn. I don't even know what's another example of a 99% corn whiskey, like mellow corn?
Exactly. And that would be 100%, and it's a corn whiskey, not a bourbon. So we're kind of the first to really kind of cultivate that. People have used this similar mash bill in blending, but not as a standalone mash bill. So we're cultivating it as a standalone mash bill. So we really like it for all the reasons we've kind of talked about it. I tell you what, you guys need to try the rum finish if it's not sold out. I actually think it's sold out on Seal Box. That's my favorite.
Okay.
My personal favorite most days, right? I like all my kids.
Right.
But that one is it adds some viscosity and some good sweet spice to it, a little extra element, a little extra depth. Because the one knock we get on this mash bill is it's a little one-sided or one-dimensional for those folks that like a lot of rye or wheat in their mash bills. But that's why I love it personally.
Yeah, you said the rum finish?
Rum finish. Yeah, I don't know if they have. They might be sold out. So that's actually a good question. Because I'm obviously a nerd. That's kind of why I'm in the game. Folks like you, how do you learn about bourbon? Where do you go to find new things? Like, is it always bloggers? Is it these bourbon influencers? Are you whiskey advocate guy? Like, how do you find out about new stuff?
It's a lot of YouTube.
Yeah.
You know, watch 3 or 4 videos, and if we consistently see a new one throughout those videos, it usually piques our interest a little more. You know, bourbon hunting videos, we'll see guys traveling all over the place, and they'll bring it up, you know, about a random bottle, and we'll dig into it a little bit, and one of us will pull the trigger and we'll try it out.
Either that or honestly, the Seal Box emails, man. I mean, anytime I get an email from them or a notification, I'm checking to see what it is.
Now, how important, because I always wrestle with this personally, right? Like, how important is the packaging or the extra things that, like, to you, like, if you see a fancy bottle and a real fancy label, is it worth the extra $20-$30, or would you rather just a damn solid bourbon at the best price possible? Like, how do you guys go about making those decisions?
Damn solid bourbon at the best price possible.
Yeah.
And, you know, I don't care about the accoutrements on the, you know, I saw a bottle the other day that's got a how do you not stay like buzzed or get drunk like every day at work? Because you have to try the product, right? Really control.
So I'll tell you that I've been in this business now. I left banking, so we're suit and tie every day, corporate banking, and you know, a few extra LBs, a few more gray hairs now. But my wife has gotten very used to me smelling like bourbon. So she doesn't ask as much every time, but what we do have is I have a breathalyzer in my car and on me at all times, because, you know, sometimes when you're drinking a lot high proof, you gotta be safe. We got a corporate account with Lyft and Uber, but to your point, I got to make a conscious effort to not drink as much because it's around all the time, and you know, the most fun that I have at my job are drinking with good people like you guys, right? But then, you know,
likewise.
Like, whenever you're at nights and the weekends and you want to socially drink too, it gets to be a lot. And it's really easy to, in the middle of the afternoon, have some bourbon. You got to try some barrels. You got to see how these are developing. You got a retailer in picking barrels. You got, you know, customers in, right? They want to try with the owners. They want to hang out with you. They want to see what you think. It's really hard, to be honest with you.
Yeah. I mean, I just, you know, we're not distillers like you, but just coming home and walking in the door and, oh, look, there's 70 bottles of bourbon looking at me. One of them needs to be consumed.
And one of them always looks good, right?
Yeah. Oh yeah. Hey, don't do any Amberana finishes. I don't know if you have, but don't. Please, no more Amberana.
I'm only laughing because I fucking hate Amberana finishes.
Dude, I picked one up on accident the other day. I didn't even look at the finish, and I got home and I cracked it open. I was like, oh, that's Cinnamon Toast Crunch. And I was like, oh shit, I got an Amberana.
There's obviously a place. I want everybody to have options and find what they like and not like, right? That is very important. And we know that we can't be for everybody. But one of our big things is producing bourbon that we personally like, and sometimes it'll be on trend, and sometimes it won't be on trend. But it's who we are. We like sweeter, higher proof stuff. Typically, as co-founders, except for one who's an anomaly, but he likes sweet and low proof. But we won't. If I don't personally like it, we won't personally produce it in any of our brands. Now, what we do, like, you know, I mentioned the rum finish. So the two only finished bourbons that we do consistently, we're talking about like any day of the week you can get them, is our double oak. So another number 4 char barrel, age it for an extra 6 months, a year and a half, depending on how the barrel progresses. And really that's to appease the bourbon lovers who wanted a little bit more out of this mash bill. It adds an extra element of oak and depth and just vanilla and caramel, just a really bourbon drinker's bourbon, right? With nothing extra, nothing special. Well, it is special, but you know what I mean, right? Kind of down the middle, oaky, vanilla, caramel, and then the rum finish, because that's my personal favorite. And I actually think it's technically maybe the best bourbon we produce. It's the most interesting in my opinion. But we do some.
Yeah, no, I can't wait to be on board with your assessment.
I mean, it may not be for you, right? That's okay.
I trust you.
No.
I trust you, man. You're cool. I bet it. I'm sure it's delicious. That's the thing about watching those videos is you don't know who's been paid to promote a certain product. I mean, you really, especially if it's some random bottle that they're just like all of a sudden like, oh my God, this best whiskey I've ever had, or blah blah. This is so good for the money. I'm like,
yeah, we got tricked a few times on that.
Yeah, I'm a little skeptical here.
Yeah, I mean, it's tough. You guys know this. Look, we got a product that you're going to take at least 4 years to make. So that's a huge cash flow cycle to have to fund, right? And you know, banks and landlords, they want their money every month. So it's tough. I think I personally believe over the next 2 to 6 years, you're going to see a lot of, you know, folks like not only our company but other companies like Sagamore you mentioned really maturing. And getting really competitive product between 4 and 8 years old that is extremely, extremely good and reasonably priced. I think you're going to see a ton of bourbon between $30 and $70, right? Which is a good kind of middle ground of not too expensive but not too cheap, right?
Yeah.
That's really high quality. As some of us are finally been in the game for a while, we've kind of gotten over the hump. We can get really good age on product now. We've learned what we're good at, what we're not good at. We've had some of those fails and moved on. I think it's the most exciting time for craft and regional right now going into the next few years. You guys will see a lot of good stuff at reasonable prices.
Well, we see the big problem is like smaller distilleries. We get something and it's awesome, and then we can't get it again. You know, like comes out, we're like, all right, this is good stuff, and then it just disappears. And so then we forget about it because we can't get it. Or when we see it pop up on a website, we'll grab it, but it's just like, it fades from your collection, you know, the harder it is to get sometimes.
That's fair.
Yeah, I think those big legacy brands are in trouble from you craft guys, honestly, because once y'all start, like you said, once you start maturing and bringing costs down, you know, I'm not you in particular, but you know, they say that they charge so much because you know it just costs them more to make the whiskey, right? Because they don't have the economies of scale like a big, you know,
Maker's Mark,
which is fair. I mean, when you go from, you know, and I'll give you some very pointed examples here. Grain, you know, we're in Indiana, right? We're in the Midwest. We're in a massive grain producing state. I'm probably getting it not much more expensive than the big guys, so that's not that bad. It's the glass, it's the corks, it's the warehousing stuff. Like when you're talking about going from buying a pallet of glass to a truckload or multiple truckloads, you will be able to cut your costs 50 to 75% sometimes, and even go to a better package. Or the label, same thing. You'll go from maybe a small run of 1,000 labels to 20 or 30 or 50,000 labels, and you'll literally decrease your cost 50+%.
Right.
And so it takes a while to get there, right? Get some of that, and then I can decrease my costs. Like our most affordable bottle of bourbon will be $24.99 on the shelf. And it's our 80 proof Old Hamer small batch. It's a good mixer, right? It's premium enough. Wine Enthusiast had it as a 2020 Best Buy under $30.
Nice.
But I also, that's one of the reasons why I asked the question. There's not a lot of, you know, we're real simple with the package, right? Like simple, easy, tells you what it is, tells you the proof, puts the story on the back. We don't overcomplicate it. easy to pour.
Yeah. I mean, to be honest, man, I don't even think twice about really what the bottle looks like. I mean, you know, I don't really care. I don't think Matt cares either. As long as the juice is good inside, that's all we care about. You know, you could try to fancy it up as much as you want, but like I said, that's a red flag when it's got a super fancy bottle.
When it goes too fancy.
Yeah. And it's like, yeah, you know, I got a collection. So once you have a collection going, you just keep adding and rotating. So
how many bottles do you guys have?
There's probably like 60 over there right now.
Yeah, my wife counted them while I was out of town the other day, and she was like, "You're over like 70 bottles," and I was like, "Need more bottles."
That she knows of.
You should play Corn. Like free.
Oh, Corn, yeah.
That's what you should do.
Where do y'all get it from? Local farmers, obviously?
Yeah, we use a company called Sugar Creek Malt Company out of they're basically in central Indiana, northwest side of Indianapolis, so close to Lafayette area where Purdue University is. So very, very close to where we are. So we do both. We both distill ourselves, and we contract MVP to make bourbon for us both. So we do both.
Yeah, I got you. I got nothing against that, by the way. I think MGPs, I mean, obviously they're a catalyst for the whole industry. So
I would argue that the best rye whiskey in the world, besides maybe, comes from MGP.
Yeah, absolutely.
Their 95.5 is the standard.
Right. Yeah, I know most of the ryes I have are probably MGP.
Well, guys, I really appreciate you hanging and drinking with me. We'll cut this up. We'll send it back to you. I don't know if you want to add anything else while we're kind of finishing. Otherwise, Stace, Matt, thanks for enjoying. Glad you like the product.
Thanks
for
listening.
Thanks for bullshitting with me about bourbon, and thanks for teaching me a little something about the online community. That was a new concept to me, so I appreciate that.
Yeah, man. I mean, you guys are doing a great job. Got some great juice in this bottle right here, and I'm excited to see what the future holds for you guys, because especially if you get in North Carolina, you got some lifelong customers with us. So, you know, from the $25, you know, regular stuff to your rum finish, whatever, we'll be buying it. So please come to North Carolina. North Carolina ASAP. Like,
I'm working on it. I promise you, I am working very hard on it, actually.
Right.
So thank you, guys. I appreciate you. Cheers, Matt. Cheers, Stace.
Cheers.
Be in touch.
All right. See you, Blake.